What a gorgeous morning on our beautiful regenerative permaculture certified organic farm. So today there's a lot you can actually do in winter. There's a lot that you can plant in winter. So I've got lettuce, coriander, I've got kale, spinach, snow peas. I'm going to plant out some peppermint, and I'm also going to plant out some asparagus. And they're only little babies because we lost a lot of our asparagus. We had thousands. We actually, had 2,000 asparaguses planted down in our herb garden, down on the river flats. But unfortunately, they all got burnt and never came back. So I've had to re-buy. This bed, we had some guinea pigs in here, and we had we've got a bit of problem with this, which is onion weed. It's come up everywhere, and this bed was pretty bad. There's still a little bit over in the corner, but I heavily mulched it with cardboard, and this had broad beans in here last winter. So I'm just going to check it out and see how it's looking. It's looking pretty good, full of life. That's what we want to see. But when you put cardboard down, it does get a little dry. So I just wanted to see how it feels. So that's a little bit dry. This is where I want to put the asparagus. So I think I'm going to scrape it all back. I'm not going to dig it. I just want to aerate it a little bit. This is Fogo. Fogo is from our local council tip, so it's all organic matter that they come into the tip. It does come in a bit dry. So I'm going to scrape it all back. I'm going to aerate it a little bit, give it a really good water. Then I'm going to plant in. So let's do that. I didn't actually use a shovel to turn it over. I just used the pitchfork, because I just want the water to go deep down in without really disturbing too much of the soil structure that the worms make. I just wanted to have a quick talk about tools. Greg and I always have conversations about tools. I have 3 favourite tools in my garden. Greg has a whole heap of these tools that he goes to expos and buys. He's got all these fancy smancy garden tools. I have 3 tools that I use on a regular basis, and I get very cranky when they go missing from my garden when he's got all these swanky tools that he buys. I'm talking about you, Greg.
I can hear.
Talking about all of your swanky tools that you buy.
I don't have huge amounts of swanky tools. I've just got a couple of good swanky tools.
A good couple of good swanky tools.
About 4.
Keep your hands off my tools. I love this pitchfork. It's an old one that I got at the markets. What I love is that the handle swivels. So when you put it into your soil, and of course your soil should be nice and aerated, and you shouldn't have to put your foot on it to dig deep. There's something wrong if it's that hard that you have to put your foot on it. So this baby here, it's nice and thin. I love how worn it is down the bottom for the prongs, and all I have to do is put it in and go backwards and forwards, and the handle swivels. So I just go backwards and forwards. Love it. Love him. And always got to have a good leaf rake on hand. And I love my spade. I love the size of it. I love the weight of it. And the colour too, of course. It looks funky too. But this is my favourite spade. I don't like the really long shovel handles. I find them quite heavy. They're usually quite thin. It just doesn't work for me because this is my little area in here. I'm the boss of this area. Greg's the boss of the herb garden, and we kind of both share the orchard, but this is like my domain. So let me give you a little bit of a look around. So this is where we grow our veggies and our berries, like all the small fruit that are vines, and we've got a couple of big lemons in here. That's the lemon tree. We've got passion fruit there. We've got our raspberries. These need pruning because it is winter. And we've got, that's a persimmon there. This is our potato bed. These are thornless blackberries. This is our bean bed. I kind of like just propagate in this bed. So I've got 27 Chinese maples that I've propagated from seed. Another passion fruit. I can't tell you how much effort I've put into this passion fruit, these two passion fruit, because we are very frosty here. So it's taken me years to grow. I think I've killed about 10 to get 2. So they're my babies. This is blueberries. Blueberries not doing very well, but you know, still going to give them a go. These are all our strawberries that of course gone dormant. Our kiwi fruit. There's still some kiwi fruit on the vines. I've got to clean them up. That's another big job in here. Potato bed. This I'm going to turn, there's just a few little seedlings in here, but I'm going to turn this into our onion and garlic bed because this garlic bed has been overrun by the onion weed, so I'm going to deal with that. I'll deal with that. That's going to be dealt with the onion. Along this bed here, I'm preparing it for tomatoes. I'm going to do from the end of the blackberries all the way to end there. I'm going to net it with the wire, the guinea pig proof wire, and I'm going to fill this up with tomatoes because we love our tomatoes. Our guinea pigs. So they live in here, they mow our lawn. I can't even remember the last time I mowed in here. This is all them, and they fertilise and they eat the weeds. But we do have to put these little cages around all of our beds, or else they will eat everything. So, but that's okay. There's a short-term pain for a long-term gain there. It takes a while to put the wire around all the beds, and a little bit hard to weed at times, but for not having to mow in here. We might have to whippersnip a little bit in summer if it gets away from them, but apart from that, pretty good. So I might just move it up a little bit. Because of the fires, and these beds got a little bit burnt. I'm still getting the soil right. So slowly, but this will be perfect for asparagus. I'm going to feed them up with compost during summer. So let's get to it. So I just got some more Fogo. I'm just going to refresh the Fogo on top. Not much, just the beds. Oh, my hose is going on a bit. So I've just whacked that on top and giving it a little bit of a water in, and then I'll spread the straw and then plant in the asparagus. But it's time for the asparagus. Da-da-da-da. So, check out this. This is my beautiful sink. You've got to have a sink in the garden, nice and close to the house. There's our straw bale house right there, nice and close to the garden. So nice and close to the garden. So you come in, you look at this beautiful view, and you pick your veggies, and then you come over here and you wash them, take them inside, all on a path, of course, so you can come out barefoot. So that's Greg in the side by side cruising around the farm. So I have got these amazing babies. Oh, there's a little baby there. So these babies are from a place called Mud Brick Herb Cottage. So they're certified organic. That's the same certifier as what we've got here. So I trust these guys, and so therefore I trust this company. So we got these ordered online, and they turned up. So we've got 20 asparagus to plant out, and we've also got 20 peppermint to plant out. So the peppermint are going down in the herb garden, and these are coming up and staying up here with me. So, and they're actually, I was talking to Mud Brick people, and they're going to Mud Brick Herb Cottage. Let's get that right, hey? Mud Brick Herb Cottage. They're looking into a program of returning the pots. So I'm going to keep all these, and when they get that program done, I'm going to return them. So let's get them in the ground, hey? So the best way to plant the asparagus seedlings is so I've prepared the bed well. So I've got the mulch there, that's all nice and snuggy up on that row. And what I do like a channel. Now asparagus like their roots to go to the side, okay, like that. So you don't want to be like digging a hole and then putting the roots straight in. We want to lay the roots to their side. And so I just leave a little bit of a space. Look at the bugs in there. Love the bugs. Like that. And now with this channel that I've done here, it's easy now to backfill. Asparagus have got quite shallow roots, so you don't want to plant them too low, and they're very big. They're heavy feeders, so you need to really, if you want really good asparagus, you've got to look after them. You've got to feed them really well with compost, and you can use things like blood and bone, things like that, as long as it's certified organic, of course. Now these guys, I made a little bit of a boo-boo. So I made a little bit of a mistake, as you do, laying in bed late at night, and I decided that because we'd lost so many of our asparagus because of the fires and they didn't come back, that I got onto the certified organic nursery that we talked about before, Mud Brick Herb Cottage, and I was looking at the asparagus, like, oh, $5.50, that's really good. And I bought 20 of them, but what I didn't realise was that there was actually 20 in a punnet, so I've got 400 asparagus here. So these guys is in, so this isn't their forever bed, this is like healing them in. So I'll let them find their way in here, I'll let them grow, feed them. I can heavily feed them and I can look after them because they're so young. It's going to take a good 3-4 years before they'll actually fruit. And of course, whenever you're dealing with seedlings or seeds, it's a really nice fine mist watering, and make sure you water them in well. But don't forget that I soaked them in water first, and I gave the bed a really good watering before I planted as well. So give them the best chance they possibly can. So the way you look after them is loads and loads and loads of fertilizer in the form of compost, feeding the soil to feed the plants. Is to feed them, lots of compost, lots and lots of compost, lots of poop, lots of horse poop, cow poop, whatever you can get your hands on. Goat poop's really good, sheep poop's really good too. And in autumn, in autumn, so what they're going to do is once you've finished eating them and you're letting them go, you have to let them go at some point, and they get to about a metre. Those fronds get quite high and they're quite green and lush, but what you want them to do is to brown off. That way all of the goodness from them, from the fronds, go down into the roots, because that's where the energy is kept. And then you chop them off. So this is a frond that I've chopped off. So he's quite big. And I'll show you the couple of ones that I still actually do have in the garden. So I cut them off and feed them up, and they come up beautiful in spring. That's when you eat the shoots. So that's an old one there. Gosh, he's about 20 years old, that one. That's one plant. That's how big they get. So you want to, when you actually do plant them out, you want them to be at least 30 centimetres apart. So that's it. That's asparagus. And if you would like to see more gardening tips from people that have been, Greg and I have been doing this for 20 odd years now on our permaculture self-sufficient garden, do subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you next time.